So when the pandemic started, much like everyone else, a lot of the things that people were doing kind of got shut down. So I work at Sick Kids. I see families and children and youth clinically, and I do a lot of research. And a lot of that research got shut down. I was feeling some impact, kids around me, families around me. So very quickly, myself and a number of researchers got together to see if we could try to see and understand what the impact was on kids and families. And then perhaps to use that information to think about some of the decisions we were making, the decisions that other people were making about what might be helpful for families and for kids. And we decided to see if we could reach out to those families and ask them how they were coping. And we asked kids and families about mental health and the impact of COVID-19. And we asked this of kids from ages 2 all the way up to 18. Next slide. And when we asked them how they were doing, particularly at the very beginning of the pandemic, what they told us was that 70% of them were feeling worse across one area of mental health. You can see that pie there, that white part, that's showing all the kids and youth who told us that they were feeling worse, being separated from friends, not going to school, not being able to see family, not being able to do all the things that you normally do to feel really social. So this initial study really helped us understand what's important for us to do. So on the next slide, you can see that one of the main findings of this initial study was the importance of safe social interactions. How do we stay connected? What are the things that we can do with the people who we are able to spend time with, like family? Or how can we interact with people safely in other ways to keep those interactions going? I would say that there are kind of some key tips that are useful for families to think about that have been put into place. I would organize them into 3 kind of key tips. So one would be trying to keep a routine. While everything's uncertain, it's good to sort of control what you can control. Getting up, what are we going to do? When are we going to start school? When are we going to connect and have lunch? What's going to happen after school? Planning some recreational time. And then, of course, making time in the evenings to spend with family, a good bedtime. So really having a routine, an order to your day, and planning things to look forward to. A second tip would be exercise and healthy living. So eating well, sleeping well, and getting exercise. So it's really important to try to keep those things healthy. Good, healthy snacks, regular bedtimes, and getting active. We're all at home, and it's easy to just kind of sit and do your schoolwork or your work. So you need to make time to get up, move around, go for a walk, get outside. And 3, safe social interactions. It's really important for people to stay connected. That could be online, chatting with friends, connecting with family. It could be making sure you're spending time with the family in your house. It's really easy for all of us to get busy with the things that we need to do, like work and school. So making time to sit down with each other and spend good quality interaction times, maybe going for a walk, waving to neighbors, talking to neighbors at a distance, as long as you're, being safe and wearing a mask. So making sure you have these times for social interactions is so important, because it's missing out on those social interactions that seems to be one of the main things that's been most difficult for people. It is really important for parents to be thinking about kids at different stages. For little ones, they're really missing that in-person interaction, and they don't really understand the pandemic. Keep reminding them that it's not just them, it's because there's these rules in place and they're going to change over time. For some of the sort of school-age kids, being outside and playing at a distance might be okay. But for teenagers, I know a lot of them are really struggling with being disconnected with hanging out with friends. And everyone's working really hard to stay connected virtually. Sometimes it's not the same as really just having an opportunity to hang out with your friends. So I think different age groups are struggling in different ways, and it's really up to parents and teachers to try to figure out what's the best way to kind of help out this child at this age range. What were the things that they like to do beforehand, and how can you figure out a pandemic safe way to try to infuse a little bit of that into their schedules and their lives. So, as much as possible, trying to figure out a way that you can structure time that is a bit more consistent. It's really good to set clear expectations for everybody because everyone can manage themselves much better that way. So, for ADHD, for kids, if they feel like they have to sit and do schoolwork for like 8 hours, that's going to feel like too much. But if they know, you know what? We're going to do work now. The teacher's going to do a lesson, and then I'm going to have 15 minutes to do writing or independent work. But then I get to get up, and this is a break where I get to go outside, or this is a break when I get to choose whatever I want to do. It can be really helpful for everyone to know what's coming next, particularly since there's so much going on the outside that we can't control. It's good to have a good routine and set up.